Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Vortie here and bringing you another video. Another video on Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. That's right. That is right. But as you can see... Bum bum bum. What time is it now? Will it work? Will it work? Will it happen? Come on. Bum bum bum. Not gonna happen. Still maintenance. But anyways, that's not what the video is about. We're not doing any gameplay this morning. What we're gonna talk about actually is the maintenance. So actually it's early in the morning and I'm actually at home today, so I can actually make the video right away. So I woke up now at 7 a.m. Well, I've been up since 5:40, but it's 7 a.m. now. Yeah. Anyway, so let's take a look at a few things. So first thing we're gonna take a look at. That looks good. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna look at is exactly what the maintenance has kind of shown so far. So first and foremost, before we jump into everything, shout out to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius' Reddit and Wiki. Those guys are always amazing, keeping up to date with all the information, especially our little thunder god here, Nasta. He's always really on top of everything for the data mines and everything. So shout out to these guys for having the information out so quick, right? So, like the second the maintenance goes out, they pretty much have the data, so they can actually start pulling it. And what I want to talk about, since this is actually not fully updated yet, as you can see, the first line, the dude wrote the same thing I pretty much writing. He's like, just woke up, give me a few. So this guy's killing it right now. So this is actually going to improve more and more throughout the day. And then later on tonight, I will make a video for tomorrow morning that'll cover anything else in detail that might have been misrepresented. If everything looks still good and there's nothing really important, I'm just going to stick to the one video, which is going to be this one. Alright, so the first thing we want to talk about is going to be the PureCryst. So I don't know if you guys recall, or if any of you guys are actually playing the Japanese version, but PureCrysts actually cost 100,000 currency in the Japanese version of the game. This is actually the first time that we're actually seeing... sorry, I'm trying to get... I had some pepper between my teeth. Sorry about that. But they're actually weakening this for us. However, this could very much change once the game goes live. This could be 100,000. But as of right now, from the initial data mine, Nasta has actually seen that they're 80,000 value. Okay, so PureCrysts are 80,000, which is... it's still very expensive, but it's actually not that bad in comparison to, you know, having to do another 20,000. That 20,000 is a lot of currency when you think about it. That's 20,000 fish, man. Think about it. That's a lot. And then the other ones that they got here is it's going to be what they're going to be kind of providing over and over again. It's 15% MP for 15,000, 15% attack for 35,000. The Trust Moogles, which is the ones we know that kind of as of last event, 1% Trust Moogle, there's 5 of them and they're 10,000 each. Then you got the 30,000 for the 10%, and then we got the new Tabby suit, which I think everybody should be picking up. The Barrett for 3,000, everybody should be picking that up as well because it's very cheap. And then there's some materia here. Also these materia, okay, some materia. So these materia here you can get 4 of each. So Warrior Mage gives you 5 magic, Spirit, and 10% MP. Returner gives you 5% attack, defense, and MP. What the hell? Okay, these are more so for like new players. Otherwise, for anybody else that's been playing the game for a little while, these material slots are just going to waste your material slots. I just said it. This material will waste your material slots. Alright? So just keep that in mind. Don't go for it unless you really need it and you see use for it, because this is gonna be a waste of your inventory, especially if you're free to play. You're gonna buy these materia and they're gonna waste the slot, and if you don't use them, they're really gonna waste the slot. Because I have a lot of materia actually that I'm gonna be getting rid of, and I'm gonna probably make a video on it, kind of showing you my reasoning why I'm getting rid of it, so that way if you guys are in a similar situation, you can be like, hey, wait a minute, I don't want this either, I'm just gonna get rid of it. You can do it. Alright, so that kind of covers this little King Mog event for this part here. Next thing here is they made large sword mastery non-stackable, which is kind of irrelevant. Even he says irrelevant to most of us, but large sword mastery is kind of irrelevant in the sense that we only have one right now. There's only one. It's the one that you get from killing the Ifrit and Siren event, right? So they're making it not stackable, which is fantastic, but unless they're kind of pre-hinting saying is like there's gonna be more of these coming out in the future, like, you know, then great. But if there's only one in the game so far, it's not really it doesn't matter. But anyways, that is there, and it's expected, just like Blade Mastery. I'm expecting that all Mastery materia should be non-stackable. We should assume that right off the bat. So he's got some stuff here also. Fixed localization of permanent pots. So now you can actually get the Arena Restore and Raid Restore, or not yet, but there are placeholders there, so we should be seeing that. Essentially what we're going to be getting is, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to restore your energy. And it gives you two options. It says use item, and then it says use lapis. So right now if you click on use item, it's empty. When you click on use lapis, there's obviously lapis, and that's really the only option you have. Well, now they're actually going to start putting things into that use item, and there's going to be different things for raids, for arena. Why would I yawn? I just had a whole cup of coffee. Vortie's lazy today. Anyways, I apologize for the yawning, but it is super early. Yeah, so we're gonna be getting those restore pots that you guys can actually purchase, or not purchase. Most of the time you get them from like your daily logins or like events and stuff like that. That's gonna be their way of giving you stuff now. If they feel like there's something needing compensation, they're just gonna give you energy instead of giving you lapis, which what everyone wants. Some other placeholders here is going to be for the bundles. There's the Final Fantasy VI Daily Special. There's one here that says, you won't find any offer like this anywhere else. Daily varying items available once per day. Well, I don't really know what that's going to be about, but then you got the bundle for Terra for what's probably going to be 3,000. And there's another one here that says, magic can fade, but love is forever. Awaken Trans Terra with this one-time special offer. So there's this one here, and there's this one here, which is, they could be the same or they're different. I don't know. But anyways, so that's kind of what he's got so far. Let's refresh to see if he's actually got anything else here. So that's pretty much what Nasta's got so far. And like I said at the start, if there's new, better information, then I will make another video. But it has to be meaty, right? There's going to be some good information to bring back up. Alright, so let's look at here. This is why I gave Wiki a shout out earlier. They already made a floating continent event page. You guys can go check this out on your own if you want to kind of read into it a little bit more. So essentially the quick breakdown here is they just give you a little bit about the event, they give you the story, the units. We already know about this, we talked about this in previous videos, but if you didn't see them, the two characters that already exist in the game, which is Terra and Kefka, are 50%. Then you got Gao, which is the next 50% unit, then Stetzler and Trans Terra are going to be the next level units. Trans Terra is going to be the big kahuna of the banner, and that's kind of that. Alright, so Farplane. So here they got these are normally the basic costs. This could change, but it hasn't changed at all for a long time. So rare summoning tickets. You gotta get the Barret, which is 10 defense, 10 spirit, and 10% magic. Looking pretty good. The Tabby suit. We've talked about this as well in the overview and the unit and event spotlight. But defense, spirit. So 30 defense, spirit 20, hit points, MP 10. Not bad. It's just gonna be useful for the next event, which is going to be, I believe, Ultima and Osmos or something like that. Can't remember what their names are. But anyways, this is going to be pretty useful because they do poison, so that's going to be helpful. Returner, we just talked about that in the previous page. Same thing with Warrior Mage. I don't think it's worth it. I wouldn't waste your time. Magic and attack, or MP and attack here, pretty pricey. The MP thing could be useful if you're having MP problems with your healers. Other than that, I don't know how useful that's going to be. The 15% attack is not worth the $35,000 price. However, you might want to pick it up because, as I've been kind of harping over the last few days, global is a meta facing, playing, being just physical type of game right now. That is the position that the global version is in right now. It is mostly physical damage dealer characters that are the ones that are carrying you through the game, so you might want to pick this up to boost your character's damage if you don't have anything better. But if you have anything better, 15 attack is actually pretty good. It's one of those like staples that you might want to have, but again, it's pretty pricey, so if you can afford it, go for it. The Trust Muggles we already talked about. So the events here, so you get the summoning ticket for beating it the first time. We already talked about this, and on top of that, it shows it on the event page. 200 fish, 300 fish, 500 fish, and the elite version you're gonna get 500 fish. And then as well here, for beating it with 4 people or less, you will also get a magic 15%. So Last event, magic 15% was 30,000 or 35,000. It was the more expensive one of the two. Now you can actually get it by beating the boss with 4 people or less. The boss right now is going to be Ultima Weapon. He doesn't seem too bad. This life is kind of low on him. If it's 550, that you can pretty much one-turn him pretty easily. The one thing I can tell you right off the bat that makes him interesting is the fact that he is susceptible to paralyze. A lot of the bosses that we fought in previously have been susceptible to paralyze. Same idea, 90%. So Noctis's flask is pretty much going to paralyze this dude almost every single time. That's kind of normally how this works when he only has one. So I think paralyzing this dude is going to be your key to keeping him stable and then blowing him up. The gimmick behind him is that while he's above 50% hit points, he is going to be dealing only 2 different moves. I think he only does, they say it here, above 50%, he's pretty much going to be mostly spamming Blaze and Flare. But when he drops below 50%, then he's going to unlock all these other abilities that are just crazy. My personal advice is going to be, because these are pretty easy to handle from what I remember in the Japanese version, just you can take him down to about 60% or something, just kind of like meleeing and kind of buffing and preparing, and then when he's at almost 50%, just blow him up, right? So you have till about 50% to paralyze him, and if he's almost at 50% to blow him up, most people might be able to just pretty much one-turn him. But again, I'm just saying, a good strategy is to slowly kind of wither away from him, get him paralyzed. So either 50% or get him paralyzed and then blow him up, because he stays paralyzed for 2 to 3 turns. So just do as much damage as you can while he is at just about to hit 50%, or when he's paralyzed. That's going to be your strategy for destroying this dude. They say here don't use Carbuncle or Shiva, which is fine. Is it really going to make a big deal for you? Probably not. Unless you're really having a hard time killing him, then yeah, you don't want to have these weaknesses at all because of the damage that it does. Like Graviga will just destroy you. Mind Blast is also dark. There's a bunch of these here that are dark damage. It's just going to destroy you. Same thing with fire. Like, it's mostly fire. So the good news about him, he is a beast. So for those of you who are smart and picked up Poach, this is a chance for you to use Poach to get the Beast Killer. Plus on top of that, you're going to be able to use Ifrit to be able to kill him. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward fight. On top of that, he is susceptible to Magic and Spirit Break, which will reduce his damage. I think he's actually full breakable, if I remember correctly, back in my day. He should be full breakable, but they're suggesting that you do Magic Break and Spirit Break because most of his abilities are magic based attacks. So that way you understand, that's why they were suggesting this. Okay, so overall, when the event does come out and the monster is out there, I will help you guys make a video about me defeating it. Obviously, because I work Fridays early in the morning, I will end up doing the event more than likely while I'm on the train. I'm gonna end up doing it anyway, so it won't be like a first time clearing thing, but I will go through everything with you guys to show you the step-by-step of beating everything, going through it. So the one other thing that we're going to talk about in like maybe a minute and then just call it, second part of the week, there's going to be a second part of the event. If you guys read the news and seen my other video, you'll know that the next event boss the second week is going to be Kefka. Kefka is actually one of the more fun bosses that we're going to have. He's got a very interesting mechanic. As you can see here, all of his element resistances are 200%. But before we jump into that, for beating him, you're going to get a Trust Moogle. Using an item while fighting him, you're going to get 10,000 fish. If you defeat Kefka with a limit burst, you're going to get the light resistance 15%, which is going to be pretty useful later on. And then you got here, if you invoke Carbuncle and Diablos during the fight, you're going to be able to get the Great Mage's Robe. And I think they have the stats on it. Yeah, they already converted it. Perfect. So the Great Mage's Robe is actually Defense 40, Magic 30, Spirit 30, MP 20%. So this kind of fights right alongside of Siren's Robe. So you gotta get this. So I think this is pretty attainable, and they're starting to do things like this to try and get people to use like Espers and stuff like that, which is meh. It's gonna be a lot easier to do this in this event because in this event he's shifting through elements. Every turn he will pick a different element that he's weak to. You will know which element he's weak to by the spell that he casts. The only trick behind him is he's going to cast a spell, plus he normally attacks like 7 times. As you can see here, he normally attacks a lot of times. So you got to make sure your party's buffed, make sure that he is kept under control. You can blind him, which could help you with the 7 attacks. He casts like 1 spell, I remember, If I remember correctly, he'll cast one spell and then a bunch of melee attacks, so you can keep him under control that way by blinding him and then trying to power up your Esper, and then summon up an Esper and then stop and then go again. Alright, so yeah, there's a bunch of thresholds here you can get through him. He just gets mad and stuff. I won't go over this in this video. When this event does come, I'll make a special video about him, talking about the strategy to defeat him, and then letting you guys kind of know my input on it. But I had a lot of fun in the Japanese version from this. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around. This is just a quick look at the information that is presented now as of Thursday morning, so hopefully you guys have seen this already, or if you haven't, then there you go. Now you know what's going on. And stick around. Probably Friday morning-ish is when I'm going to release the one, if there's any new information or anything that's changed. But by then the event will be live and you guys will probably be playing it and be ahead of me, because I will be recording it Thursday night. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, and if you did enjoy the content, definitely hit that like button to help support the channel and help let me know that this is what you enjoy. I will see you guys in the next video. This is Vortie, and I'm out of here. Peace.
I saw it.